I do a Sunday show. We're together on that.
Yeah.
And Fox has never said I had to do it. But years ago, I chose to do it because I wanted to get to on Sunday, I wanted to come to the lot, and I wanted to talk to Bradshaw and Howie and Strahan and Kurt and Jimmy because they're all full of knowledge. I've never learned more about football than I've learned from Jimmy Johnson. So I come in, he's the first guy in, I get my oatmeal, and I just ask him 9 questions.
Yeah.
And I learn something every Sunday. So you're on the set yesterday. How emotional was it?
Oh, well, we had no clue, by the way. They did not tell us. That's why when you saw Terry and all the guys saying, wow, and we thought it wasn't going to happen, honestly. And then when you see, Big David
because you saw Bill Cowher in the morning get it.
I saw Bill Cowher in the morning get it, but we thought, okay, if it was going to happen, even Jimmy, I talked to him afterwards, and he was like, well, since we didn't get it in the pregame show, he didn't think it was going to happen. Nobody on the set did. We were all like kind of upset and, complaining about it. And then when he came around, and just to see Jimmy's reaction, I'll tell you what, this is probably the coolest moment I've ever had in my life, even more so than the moment when Mr. Baker told me that I was going to the Hall of Fame. I don't know why. It was so surreal just seeing Jimmy because it's been so long.
Yeah, we've all been
so anticipated, and it hadn't happened.
I mean, I said before, in my life, if you said best football coaches, I'd go, Belichick's the best. I didn't see Lombardi, so you put him out there. I'd say Belichick's the best, and I'm like, then you start looking around, and you're like, oh, boy, Jimmy's way, way up there.
Yeah.
Like dominates college, dominates the NFL. Like it just doesn't happen. And he's also the first guy to engineer a major trade. Nobody traded football players.
Yeah.
He changed the culture of the sport.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just incredible. And for the record, he could have stayed in Dallas for years. He and Jerry, they're both big superstars. Jerry wanted more control, and Jimmy's like, that's not what I do. So,
and that's the strange thing I found. He's not even in the Cowboys Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor. So obviously, there's some stuff going on between him and Jerry that hopefully gets resolved. Because now that he's in the Hall of Fame, put him in the Cowboy Ring of Honor too. As well.
Yeah. So I want to talk about a couple of these games. Let's start with Kansas City, near and dear to your heart. It is pretty remarkable. Do you worry at all today? You're like, how did they fall behind 24-0? Like, were you freaking out? Like, what happened?
Oh, it was an emotional roller coaster for me yesterday. I was at the house watching it by myself, which is a rarity around the Gonzalez household. And I'm sitting there, and I was cussing. I was frustrated. I beat the pillow up a little bit. I'm walking around the couch, and I'm like, I can't believe this. Unbelievable what's going on. Because it wasn't the mistakes. It was all mistake football. It wasn't about talent, obviously. You saw what happened. It was just the drop passes and the punt block and the missed assignments. I was like, what is going on? You're melting. It's melting.
The other thing is, buys aren't great.
Yeah, that's what I said. The buys.
Let's go. Let's talk about that. So Lamar Jackson, he plays a great game against San Francisco. Then they play 2 dogs. They give him a week off, week 17, and then he has a bye. I thought he looked rusty. Yeah. I thought the receivers looked rusty. Belichick never believed in that, Tony. Belichick was like, Tom Brady's not getting week 17 off.
Yeah.
We're playing all our starters. Dungy, though, was always a give Peyton Manning time off. In your life, I always had a theory that if you were hot, keep playing.
Yeah.
And I thought Baltimore was hot, and they rested people.
Yeah. Well, it depends on who that person is, I believe. Now, at the end of the season, I've had the first-round buys, and I remember in Kansas City, we had it twice.
Did you like it?
Well, you like it because you think, okay, well, we get the extra rest, and everybody can get healthy and all that stuff. We lost both times.
Wow.
Number one seed, 97 when as a rookie, 2003 with that Dick Vermeil team.
Yes.
We lost in the first round against Peyton Manning. They had played the week before. Everybody was rusty when we went out there.
Wow.
You got to keep going. It's the hot hand. You got to keep playing. And this is why New England is so good, because when they do get that bye week, Belichick is a master at keeping those guys focused. Now, I don't know if it's through fear. I got a feeling it's through fear and his scheduling. There is no, hey, let's all take off for 3 days. We're going to go out there in shorts. It's like, no, we're going to do pads, and we're going to go out there. Nobody's dropping balls. I will cuss you out in front of the whole team. I will call you out in front of the whole team. Everybody, we're going to stay just as tight as ever.
Because they've never been rusty with a bye.
Huh?
They're never rusty with a bye.
Never rusty with a bye. And I think that's, and I've heard this too, even during the regular season, he doesn't give them a bye week. They don't get a bye week. When everybody else takes off, I'd take off and, hey, fam, we're going down to Miami during the bye week, because we got 4 or 5 days off. I heard Belichick gives them the minimum off, which is like 2 days. You don't have to give off that bye week. And it's because, hey, we're going to stay focused. We're going to come in here and we're going to stay prepared, and that's why they do what they do.
So just my eyes tell me San Francisco's the best team left and Kansas City's the second best team left. And then Green Bay, Tennessee. What do you make of Green Bay? Like, Aaron's now throwing to one guy.
Yeah.
They don't adjust well at half. You can't dispute that anymore. They were outscored 20-7 by Seattle. So I've got this team with perhaps the fourth best coach that doesn't adjust well at half. They throw to one guy, and they're 14-3. Like, what do you see with Green Bay?
I think, well, the thing you didn't mention is their defense. I think that's what's popping out to me. I mean, the Smith addition, the Preston and Zadarius, that's huge. I mean, they paid those guys big money, and they're delivering. Each of them had 2 sacks yesterday, and they did well against the pass. And I felt bad for Russell Wilson because they couldn't get a run game going. And you can't get a run game going. It's just hard.
Especially on the road.
And he still almost had it. I mean, I felt like if he got the ball back, he might have went down there and scored. But that's what Green Bay is resting on right now is their defense. It's not the offensive side of the ball. And if I'm the San Francisco 49ers, take away Devontae Adams and put 2 people on him and say, all right, Aaron, you got to throw to other people. They can run the football a little bit, though.
Yeah,
too.
no, I mean, listen, Green Bay is a good team, but it generally when you have these obvious flaws, like they don't adjust well, they throw to one guy, you figure the best coaches, sometimes, football's funny. So we go to the Tennessee win. Have you ever played in a team? Tennessee is literally winning, completing 7 balls in Foxborough, 8 balls. Have you ever played in a team that was as physical as Tennessee? Or that literally was the quarterback was just an accessory?
Yeah. No. No, I think what they have, obviously they're led by that Clydesdale in the backfield, Derrick Henry, who nobody wants to tackle. If I'm message to Kansas City, tackle this guy low. Do not go up top because he's too physical. And then the defensive side of the ball, they're an extension of what Mike Vrabel is as a player. Just a down and dirty, not dirty, I mean just like physical type guy. And you see that expressed throughout their whole defensive side of the football. Nobody wants to play this team. This is a dangerous football team. I'm scared next week for Kansas City.
I know. It is an interesting matchup. You could see them having the ball for 34 minutes and have Patrick Mahomes sitting watching the game. That's what New England did last year in Kansas City in the first half. Patrick was watching the football game.
And there is no reason. First of all, I don't think they can do it any differently. Nothing against Tannehill. I don't think he could, we've seen him from his body of work. Maybe he'll prove us wrong, but up to this point.
This is what he is.
This is who he is. They're only going to win if Derrick Henry goes out there and gets 150 yards. And so if I'm the Kansas City Chiefs, I'm stacking the line of scrimmage, I'm going to say there's no way that you're going to come in here and run for more than 100 yards. It's going to be, and we're going to have to score points. Keep the foot on the gas, and let's go out there and Andy Reid, do your magical stuff, my homie, best player in the league right now.
He is.
Go out there and do the thing you do.
What if you'd have played with Mahomie?
Oh, and Andy Reid, Travis Kelce. Just what an unbelievable game he had yesterday.
You did not. You played. Mike Smith was a defensive coordinator.
Defensive coordinator, huh?
Did you have Herm at all?
Yeah, Herm.
So he was a defensive guy.
Defensive guy.
Vermeil was offense.
He was off, but it was that Don Coryell, Eric Coryell type.
Can you imagine the career you would have had?
It would have been nice. He had
an okay career.
Yeah, an okay career. I'm not complaining. But Patrick Mahomes.
When you watch Kansas City play, there's a flag football feel to it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's incredible. It's just everybody. See, in an offense like that, in an offense like that, it looks like you're allowed to ad-lib more as a receiver and a tight end. Or am I wrong? Is it much more buttoned up than that?
No, it looks like that's part of the process of things, I think, with them. I would have loved to play in this offense. I think that's why Travis Kelce, you see a lot of his touchdown plays is when Patrick is rolling out, and he's a basketball player. That's what Travis Kelce is. A really good basketball player before. And you give us that little bit of space to get open. All we need is a little inch. And then Patrick Mahomes is the Steph Curry and Magic Johnson type player. And it looks like so much fun back there. They are having a good time on offense. And they got all that speed. finesse. It's fun to watch, and I bet it's fun to play in.
17 NFL seasons. He's a gold jacket guy. It's Tony Gonzalez. Great having you on the show, bud. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.